Welcome to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your continued support. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the Nepal revolution that was led by Gen Zs has really elicited a very big debate globally. And many Gen Zs are now being urged to emulate what happened in Nepal as a nation because they're saying there comes a time when a generation is tired. They are just sick and tired of corrupt regimes, dictatorship, misuse of public funds. And so they say enough is enough. And we also know that the police that were protecting the politicians surrendered. I saw videos of policemen jumping into a river, and the others surrendered to the public. And we also know that the Gen Zs who had acquired some weapons like guns returned them to the military, and they were celebrating the military for standing with them and protecting them from police reactions. So far, those are the videos that we have, some of them which are very difficult maybe to verify, but so far that is what we know. And I believe the government is in the hands of the people, because democracy is about the government of the people, by the people, of the people. So far that is what we know. In many nations, especially Kenya, leaders are now being advised to be very careful, because obviously you know that last year we had, in fact, the champions of this were the Gen Zs of Kenya, but somehow they never achieved what they wanted. But they had sent a message. I understand that they are saying they are waiting for this government in 2027 so that they will lead a protest, but that is will be in the ballot. But in the midst of all this, ladies and gentlemen, I've seen the Kiambu Senator Karumu Watang was saying we should not take what happened in Nepal lightly, because, like I said yesterday, we suffer from similar problems: corruption, lack of respect to human rights, misuse of funds, public funds, and you can name them. I also saw Caleb Amisi, the Saboti member of parliament, saying that if we treat what happened in Nepal lightly, we are in for a rude shock, because Gen Zs are still very much vexed by what is going on in the country. Now, the other thing that is going on is that many political pundits, especially from Nepal or the surrounding environment, are saying that the global journalists are trying to reduce the protest that took place to the ban on social media. They are saying that that is not true. Banning of the social media was just part of the larger problems. Apparently, the government, the citizens have tolerated a lot of corrupt malpractices in the government. And they have seen those who are elected, who are maintained by public, taxpayers, living large and showcasing their opulence. Just like what happened, you remember Gen Zs was saying that there were government officials and ministers who we know when they started their politics, but immediately they were appointed as CSS, they started living large. So it's the same thing. So this is an accrued anger that led them to start protesting. And then when they realized that Gen Zs were sharing information using the social media platform, they banned it. So it was just adding petrol into fire. Now, in the middle of all this, ladies and gentlemen, Roslyn Akombe is saying something that has really sparked. People are divided. Others are saying that you're hiding in the US when things are bad, and you want to light fire and you run away. This is a very simple statement from Akombe, but when you read it and you dig deeper, you realize that the content is big. Now, Akombe says to the youth, and you see, he's not saying to the youths, She's not saying to the youth, she's saying to the youth, meaning she's targeting every youth as an individual. To the youth, the power is in your hands. You just have to believe in yourselves and be consistent. We did it as young people in the 90s. You can do it today. This post is dated 9th, the very day when the whole world witnessed the revolution in Nepal. So we believe it is a reaction to what happened in Nepal. So what Roslyn Akombe is talking about is not something new. I remember the other day Uhuru Kenyatta, while giving some keynote speech that was in Uganda, I think, told youth that it is your time. There comes a time when a generation must stand up and lead. And Uhuru was telling them that this is the reason why you must take charge. Number one, you've got the numbers. If you see the number of youths who came out for that liberation in Nepal, even compared to the youths who came out when they were saying Ruto must go, you will understand that governments are worried because of the numbers of the Gen Zs. So the numbers favor them. You go to any country, you'll realize that youths are many. So when they lead this liberation, they also have the support of their parents and many organizations. Apart from the numbers, youth suffer the most in many countries. They complete school, they graduate, but there are no jobs. They are the same people who are being misused during campaigns, promised several things, like in Kenya in 2022, they were told, Nyinyi ni mahasla, you are the hustlers. You are the ones who are living in abject poverty when other leaders have looted the country and they no longer think about you. They are the ones who are given weapons to go and fight in the streets. So they have the numbers. They are the ones that are suffering the most. They bear the brand of bad governance. Number two, technology of the day favors the youths. They are the most skillful. They understand social media. They disseminate messages and news and information using the social media. So they can easily do it. And you realize that youths are determined. And in countries where tribalism is practiced or racism, sometimes youths come together and they say, we are united against tribalism and we are going together. Sometimes they refuse to be divided along party lines, along racial or tribal lines. If you look at the number of Gen Zs who went to revolutionize their country in Nepal, had they been divided into different maybe dialects or regions, they wouldn't have managed it. But they realized that they were suffering together and they decided to put aside every differences, because at that point they realized there are only two tribes in their nation: the rich, the politicians who have looted the country, and the poor. They must have also realized that their parents did whatever they could up to a point and they took over. So when Roslyn Akombe tells them that it is their time, they have the power, they only need to believe in themselves, I think she's urging them after what happened in Nepal. From where you sit, have you sat down somewhere and just watched youths, these Gen Zs and their numbers? In some entertainment joints, there are very many. Even in the churches, the number of youths are increasing. If they are neglected, you realize that they get lost into drugs and all this. So they are a generation that must be protected. Protected from themselves, protected from different things. So Akombe's urge is one that is shaking the country, because what she's saying in a nutshell is that it is your turn. You can revisit the protests. You can put the government to check and tell them enough is enough. And it can be done. You see, when they went to the streets, the nation was shaken. Statehouse was shaken. Deep State could not believe it. And Ruto gave in. Wait not for the helping hand from Raila Amolo Odinga. I also realized that the United Nations Human Rights Watchdog supported them. They were urging the government to stop killing innocent people because about 20 to 25 or 30 were shot dead, but they were not, they remained relentless in the face of all these live bullets. They were never afraid. And that's one thing about the youths too. They're very courageous. I think they've just decided that if we sit inside the houses, we will die of hunger, of unemployment, of police brutality. So we have got two choices, either to die quietly like cowards in our rooms or decide to go and die in the streets. What would have happened if Safaricom was in Nepal? Because Safaricom has got a bad name. They are the ones who are revealing information about your whereabouts to the government. Before you know it, the DCI knocks at your door. And I think that is bad and it should be condemned. So, ladies and gentlemen, very many people have reacted. Others are telling Akombe, yes, we can do it. Others are saying the youths in the 90s did their best. But others are saying, Akombe, you are deluding yourself and you are cheating us. At the slightest explosion, you run, you fly to the US. Some of us have got just one country. So stop, inciting Kenyans. So they are divided. There are those who feel that Akombe is talking because she can safely fly away when things are bad. But others are saying that, yes, let us stop being cowards and stand up for our rights. The truth is, ladies and gentlemen, during the colonial masters, our forefathers had to rise up, go for illegal meetings. They used just crude weapons against sophisticated weapons like guns. They won. Why? Because of that resolve, because of believing in themselves, unity against others who are collaborating with the colonial masters, but they won. During the second liberation, when people were fighting against Moi regime and Moi, the Nyayo era, they wanted to do away with the one-party state. They had to come together and fight as a united front, and they won. People are in the third liberation against poverty, diseases, and illiteracy. And in fact, it is summarized as economic liberation. And youths have decided to lead. They have taken a lead role. And they are saying, we cannot let our countries go to the dogs. And you will see many Gen Zs trying this. The most successful one has been Nepal, and many are saying we need to emulate them. I don't know what you think, but youths have decided we cannot sit back and watch. Kenyan youths led it. They are the ones who gave the whole world the blueprint. Unfortunately, there were betrayals here and there, but they made a point, and the government was shaken. There's a limit to which the government can act, but we still have corruption rooted in our country. How do I know this? The reports from the Auditor General and the Controller of Budget. That's how we know that there's a lot of corruption. And remember, it is corruption that took the Gen Zs of Nepal to the streets. So we are not safe yet. We are not off the hook. The broad-based government cannot cure this disease. What can cure it? Listen to the public, listen to the nation, listen to the Gen Zs, because you have what it takes. You know what they want. And this is why I'm saying that I'm against the, intergenerational conclave. We already know what we want to talk about. What remains is, implementation. The day we implement the constitution, we already have laws that deals with corruption. We really need to get serious and do the right thing. That's my take.